I am right there with you, holding your hand every step of the way, live. It's because I want you to get results. So again, if you apply, you're only answering some questions for us about your business, where you're at, and then all we're going to do is get on the phone and chat and explore if this is a good next step for you. So you owe it to yourself to go check out that page and apply now, and at least set up a conversation with either me or someone from my team. All right. So go to the sixfigurebizacademy.com and let's chat. Let's see if this is the next logical step in your journey towards building a really successful and profitable business. All right. All right, let's go back to Q&A. All righty, so, all right, so, this is such a good question. How do you decide when you provide professional talks for free versus charging a fee? Okay, this is really good. All right, so I'll tell you right here the strategy I prefer. This is my preference. Is to do free talks that will generate you clients, because I genuinely believe that the value of growing your list and getting new clients into your program supersedes by far what you would be paid for an honorarium. Of course, depending on the honorarium, right? But let's just say, I just heard the other day of one of my clients that's going to do a talk. And it happens, it's more of a professional talk, right? And I think she's getting paid $300. And which, on the surface sounds pretty good. But if I had to pick between, being able to invite my attendees to the talk into a next step or getting paid, I would definitely pick the former any day of the week, because it's much more valuable. So, getting paid to speak is actually kind of a different business model altogether, right? So it really is different, and you really need to know how to market yourself as a paid speaker in order to be successful. And quite frankly, there's an awful lot of competition for paid speaker roles, right? Like for keynote speakers and things like that. However, it is, on the other hand, really pretty easy to find places to speak and really establish yourself as an authority in your niche through doing, local talks, webinars, just being able to get in front of your audience. So to me, and again, here's the caveat, guys. This is a really important part. We need to be strategic in these talks, just like I mentioned before, right? So we're not giving away everything in the kitchen sink, right? Like, we're not doing that. We're being really, really strategic. Of course, we're always providing tremendous value. Always. That is, we are here to serve. And that, we want to be really authentic and generous. At the same time, there's only so much time in a day, right? So we do need to be strategic. And ideally, we're doing talks, these free talks, webinars, in-person talks, community local talks, ideally in places where we will get, subsequent business, right? Or at least we will be able to grow our email list. Okay, so that is my recommendation. Hopefully this makes sense. And just as an example, I do tons and tons of free talks, a lot of them. I've spoken, in various dietetic practice groups for the Academy, including nutrition entrepreneurs, various groups. And really, I've done those at no charge, happily done them for no charge. And from each of these talks, I always get, people reaching out and inquiring about working with me. So it really, to me, that is much more valuable than getting paid an honorarium, to be really honest with you. Of course, if you can do both, go for it, right? If you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, then by all means. But if you have to pick, I would always pick the opportunity to build your business from these talks rather than getting a one and done honorarium. All right. So that's my recommendation. Let's see. Can you create a group without the expectation of support, but more of a community with a level C or D? And absolutely. So you get to decide. That's again the beauty of this. You get to pick what works for you. How much extra support do you want to provide, if any at all? So I've done many 6-week webinar series, honestly, where there's no Facebook group and there's no additional support other than being able to ask some questions, towards the end of the teaching piece, right? Generally speaking, I think I mentioned this maybe last night, is I generally try to allocate 15, 20 minutes towards questions, just so people do have a chance to, assimilate what they're learning and, to help them to implement, because at the end of the day, that's really what I'm about. I want you to take action. So, but it really kind of depends. When I first started doing group programs, I used to do it a little differently. I think the first couple that I did include, even though they were, kind of at that level C price point, I did include a private Facebook group. You just want to be cognizant of that because it really can be a big investment in your time, right? Definitely, I think it's super attractive from the client perspective because then they come in knowing that they're going to get this extra support. So it is a nice selling feature. You just have to weigh it out. But again, to answer your question, by all means, you get to pick. So level C and D, especially, the home study, for the most part, would not include any additional support and hand holding. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Would you say it is best practice to have programs and offers set prior to working on free resources? I don't feel like I have enough time in a day, right? I know, I think many of us feel that way. So, all right, but interestingly, okay, so remember, obviously, that profit pyramid, probably like, the back of your hand now, right? So what you want to do is you want to do your freebie before you move on to building out those middle levels of your profit pyramid. So guys, the way I teach, and of course, I never ever, like, every single business to me is like a fingerprint. Seriously. I don't have a one size fits all for every single person. It really depends on what lights you up and what your goals are. But for the most part, I would say if, what we want to focus on is that high end, like the one-to-one, the level A of your profit pyramid. We also want to focus on the bottom, the free stuff, because free is pretty much how you're going to get in front of and how you're going to develop that important know, like, and trust with your future client. So free stuff, whether it be, like we've been talking about, webinars, talks, Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, YouTube, oh my gosh, there's so many different ways, or ebooks, checklists. Basically, in a nutshell, you want to have your free resources first before you've got all of these other things out and available. And it's because, again, free resources get people into your one-on-one packages. So you can be serving people and creating income right away before your group programs are even made public. Right? So this week we took pen to paper and, we started to kind of outline what that would look like, of course, which is a really important part of the process. But I do want you to focus on some free stuff that you can focus on to start developing And again, this is not, we didn't learn this stuff, right? In our training. But the reality is, in the world, in the business world, especially helping clients who have issues, right? They've got health issues. Um, they want to kind of get a taste of what you're about before they step in. So getting more and more people to be added to your email list is also really super helpful, and one of the purposes behind developing an intriguing, free lead magnet, or whatever it is that you're going to work on. Bottom line, do this sooner rather than later so that you can create an audience who will be primed to invest in your other offers. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right. Let's see here. All right. This one's an academy question, and I'm torn about whether it's the right time for me to do the academy. I really want to do it, but I still work a full-time job and can only put in something like 4 to 6 hours total per week on my business. At the same time, I want my new practice to grow so I can quit the part-time job. So it's kind of like a catch-22, right? How many hours do I need available to do the homework for the program? Okay, so you want to first and foremost listen to your gut, listen to your heart. And I do want to mention just a couple things here that might be helpful. So the Six Figure Biz Academy is really going to help you to get focused and clear so that you're not wasting time on a bunch of stuff that, like kind of, as they say, throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. That is very time consuming and very, very frustrating. So in the end, I really think this is going to save you time rather than cost you time. All right. So that is one thing to consider. I really consider myself, honestly, an expert at helping people get streamlined and getting stuff done, right? I will help you streamline that process. Should you wait until things are better, till you have more time? I would say, honestly, I mean, your life is happening now, right? And in my opinion, I mean, I've seen this question quite a bit, like, is it better to do it now or later? I personally think, again, you have to listen to your heart at the end of the day. But my recommendation is that you start before you feel completely ready. Okay, let me say that again. We start before we're completely ready. And that is, I think, a really important thing to really consider in business. In terms of how much time it's going to take, the classes are 90 minutes. The homework isn't like crazy. It really depends on how much time you can put in. But in all honesty, based on what you're asking here, 4 to 6 hours that you have to allocate, I think that's enough time. I really do. So I've worked with countless clients, and this is the honest truth, who, come to me and they're working full time and they're hoping to, be able to quit their job to do their practice full time. And, it does take a little bit of hustle for sure. And I don't want to make it sound like it's an overnight thing or it's super easy, but I think you will find that by taking the academy, you're going to have the strategies that actually work. And you will stop wasting your time on things that don't work, right? So frankly, I mean, I think 4 to 6 hours, absolutely, you should do fine with that. All right. So that is that. Okay. So Victoria and Trisha. So we have a couple people that asked, how long should an ebook be? And okay, so an ebook, it really can vary, in all honesty. I think it depends on what your purpose is, right? So the first thing I would say, is it free? Or are you wanting to sell it for a price? So if it's a free ebook, honestly, I have a lot of thoughts on that. But one of the things that you want to keep in mind is instead of trying to teach everything in a free ebook, you really want to be focused, right? What is the problem that you're attempting to solve in the piece? And really try to be streamlined in that regard. I would say if it's a lead magnet, um, generally speaking, it's kind of a rule of thumb. Like, I think it's ideal if it takes about 5 or 10 minutes to consume. If it's too terribly long, people will lose interest. Like, I just feel like nowadays our concentration level perhaps is not exactly what it used to be. So I would, if it's a free lead magnet, I would, try to keep it streamlined. Of course, you want it to be, you really want to earn trust and you do want to display your expertise. So do keep that in mind. But in truth, a free item can be as simple as a powerful one-page checklist without a doubt, right? So it doesn't have to be 50 pages long. In fact, I'd really recommend against that because, again, people just don't tend to focus on reading all that content. So you can create a resource that's really any length, from a one-page checklist to a 5-page ebook, maybe a 15-page report. The length doesn't matter so much as the value. And if you're wanting to do an ebook to sell, now that is another story, as I kind of alluded to up front. For that, it has to be, really meaty enough to command the price. And so I can't make a particular recommendation in terms of length for, a product that you would sell. Although, you just want to make sure it's deep enough to warrant being charged versus having it be a free resource. And I will say, in my personal experience, I have a couple of ebooks. Many of you have probably downloaded them on my website. And the ones that really do the best for me, again, are highly specific. They're the ones that solve one problem, not 10. Okay. So the specificity, I just want to really emphasize that, how very important it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. I got to answer this question. So Lori asks, when you do start a podcast, Facebook Live, or something along those lines, if you do not have, oh, wait, hang on, I'm reading this wrong. When do you start a podcast or a Facebook Live if you do not yet have a following? I don't want to do something and just have 1 or 2 people show up. I love this question. So here's the thing that I really want to drive home is full transparency. Okay, guys, full transparency. I started doing Facebook Lives 2 years ago. I don't know, maybe I had one person come the first time. It's true. We all start someplace. And to be really honest, I was relieved. I was kind of glad the first time because, pushing that button, that go live button, it is somewhat unnerving. So the thing that I really, really want to drive home, okay, you must think, why am I doing this? What is the purpose? Okay. So if you're, for example, doing a podcast or a Facebook Live on your business page, the purpose behind that is attracting new people. It's increasing your reach, right? So that's the whole purpose. And by doing that and really sticking to it, like make a decision you're going to do it and just stick with it, your audience will grow. And I can attest to that. And so can many of my clients. Okay. So we all start someplace. I would not worry. I would just keep going and don't even pay attention to how many people are on. Because the other thing you can do is you can take that recording and you can repurpose it. Right? And that's what we do on my team now. We take those Facebook Lives, we actually make reels out of them, right? So we do reels now. We put it on YouTube. Like we do all kinds of things with them to repurpose. The other thing, now that's a little different than if you're doing a Facebook Live to a Facebook group, like a private group, like I'm doing right here. So the purpose with doing a live to a group, it depends, but maybe it's not so much to expand your reach. Maybe it's to develop more of the know, like, and trust within your audience that has already raised their hand and said, I want to be part of your community. So anyway, bottom line, I would just say, do not worry. I love, love, love. Okay, here's the real thing. Every week, I would love to see pretty much everybody creating some kind of new content. Okay. It could be in the form of a blog. It could be live streaming. It could be a podcast. Like, do whatever lights you up. And good things do follow. Okay. I can almost guarantee that. Okay. I want to remind my team that we need to pick the winner for today, for day 4. So I do want to remind everybody about that. Remind my team, and guys, the grand winner today, ooh, good, is K. Matt Perry. K. Matt Perry, and guess what? We're up in the ante, $150 for Amazon. So you get a $150 gift card. Just a thank you from me and my team for showing up and participating in this event this week. So enjoy. Okay, quick question that I have about the Academy. Can you say more about the accountability pods in the program? I don't know a program that does that. So can you explain a little bit how that works? Yeah. So I haven't talked very much about this yet. So this is actually a really timely question. So inside of the Six Figure Biz Academy, we kind of take a look, we match people, right? Kind of based on your niche, your time. Like, we look at a lot of different variables, including, your area of expertise. And we match everyone that wants to, I should say, and we put you in what we call accountability and support pods. And I give you like really specific instructions on how to run your pod meetings. So everything is super streamlined. And basically, they're put into place as another mechanism of support for you inside of the Academy. And I got to share with you guys, this is the truth. I mean, for sure, the folks that went through the Academy in 2021, they're still meeting with their pods. So it's a really super helpful thing that we do. We've gotten great feedback. And this is where you can get some additional personalized support and frankly, make lifelong friends. So anyway, so that is what the pod is all about. All right. So let's just chat really quick. I mean, I think by now you probably know, I'm pretty sure you know that I am on a serious mission. And I mean, I really feel like transforming people's relationship with health can single-handedly make the biggest and really the quickest impact on the planet. And I also think that it is really about the greatest career a person could have. But there is a caveat, right? If you have a stable, ongoing, and growing practice. So I do talk to lots of practitioners out there, and I was, in the same boat myself. It can be really super challenging to figure all this out on your own, right? Like, I went through it myself and I see it all the time. And I do want you to know it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be this constant struggle. So anytime I've invested in myself and, to help me implement these revenue generating strategies, such as what we've been talking about all week, i.e. the profit pyramid, I've always made back exponentially more than what I put in. And I know the same is true for my clients and my Six Figure Biz Academy alumni. You can read for yourself those amazing case studies. So I really do want to invite you to check out some of those stories. Um, you can see from many of the people that have gone through the program, people that I've worked with, such as Ashley, that I remember Ashley when I first started working with her. I mean, she never dreamed she'd be able to cross the six-figure threshold. True story. Um, she was really, really struggling when we first started working together. And the truth is that now she's at 320K. She's built a team. She's got two VAs. She's hired other people. Um, and, she's targeting, let's say, a much bigger number for 2022. And then there's Alyssa, whose accountant, this is a true story too. Her CPA reached out to her just to make sure there wasn't an error in her records because she made an additional 65K more in profits this year or 2021 versus the year prior, bringing her to 250K in 2021. And Alyssa is someone that went through the Six Figure Biz Academy. She was seeing patients or clients in a one session at a time model. And that was really the first thing that we did is we transitioned her into, the profit pyramid, that very tippy top of the profit pyramid, where she was working with clients, taking fewer clients, but really drilling down and working with them on a much, much deeper level in a 3-month program. Okay. And, I taught her how to really have these amazingly authentic consultations with her clients in order to help pave the way to get more yeses into her, high-end program and package. And now, she's doing great and she hit 250K in 2021. And then there's Karen, who specializes in autoimmune and gut health, which is her passion, who made 30K alone in January. So these are all real stories. And I just share this with you to give you hope, right? It really can be done. Is it super easy? Does it happen overnight? Of course not, right? But it is absolutely more than possible. And so I do want to invite you again, look at the Six Figure Biz Academy. I know I'm super passionate, clearly, about this topic, but I want to help you. I want to partner with you to help you to grow your business. So check it out, look at everything that's included, and let's just set up a time to chat. Let's just see if it's a good fit. And I give you my word that if it's not a good fit, I'll tell you, because I only want people in that group that are really going to benefit and where it's going to be an amazing fit. So check out the sixfigurebizacademy.com. And I really hope to be talking to you, either me or someone from my team over the next couple of weeks. All right. So you don't want to wait though, because that early bird investment level, it's a huge savings. It's a $2,000 savings. So don't miss out. It's $34.97. And you can also do a very affordable payment plan. All right. So you don't want to miss that window of opportunity. And plus, don't forget, the first 20 people that sign up, you are going to get my copy course that makes you money. And actually, I should probably rename it Write Your Website Copy in a Weekend, because that's the feedback I've gotten. You're going to get that entire course for free. All right. All right. So let's go ahead. How are we doing on time? Pretty good. So let's see if we can get in a few more questions. Let's see here. Do we have any more questions? Let's see. Okay. Well, someone asked about the Academy, and they asked if they're too advanced. I do have my niche pretty well defined, and I have clients already. I don't have groups yet, and my list isn't huge. I've been in business for about 5 years. Do you think this is a right fit for me? I would say it depends. In last year's cohort, in the 2021 cohort, we actually had several practitioners that were in business, had been practitioners for years. And they actually they did extremely well. So one thing I would ask you is, are you seeing clients in an a la carte kind of format, like the one session at a time? Or are you seeing clients in a program or package format? So even if you've been doing this for years and years, but you're seeing a la carte clients, then I would honestly say you would get a ton out of the academy right out of the gate. Um, Additionally, I will teach you how to really increase your visibility in the marketplace and really be able to plant that flag of authority, so that people view you as the go-to person in this particular niche. So, again, I've had clients that have been, practitioners for years who have gone through the academy and they were very, very happy. So my recommendation would be to set up a conversation, because the truth is that I've also met with some practitioners, periodically. There were a few last year where I was like, maybe it's not the best fit. So I'm not shy about telling you if what my opinion is, if I think it's a good fit, or if I think you're too far advanced. So I'll be really super honest about that because, again, I genuinely want what's best for you. All right. So, so really, I think our conversation will, I think the conversation that we have will really help you decide. And again, I will give you my honest opinion. All right.